Okay, a long explanation of Pythagoras. Pythagoras' theorem is really useful if you're working with right-angle triangles. It will only work with right-angle triangles, and the only other limitation of it is you need to know what two sides of the triangle are in order to find the unknown. This has been really useful for me as well when I'm trying to get woodworking square. So if I build a picture frame, if this is a rectangle, I can calculate how far I should be able to measure corner to corner, and that will tell me whether or not what I've built is square. It's not staying very focused. There we go. So it's really useful for a number of things. And in the video that I did prior to this one, I showed you how to actually use the theory to test if a triangle is square as well. And that's what the Egyptians used to use a similar theory for. They'd tie knots in a rope. So they knew that if they tied 4 knots across the floor, 3 knots at equal spacing up the wall, then 5 knots down would make a perfectly square corner. And they knew that they'd built the walls in their temples, in their pyramids, nice and square. Now, Pythagoras came along, and if you Google Pythagoras theorem, it'll show you all these pictures of squares that are 4 by 4 and 3 by 3 and then 5 by 5. And that's how he developed the theory, but you don't really need to have an in-depth understanding of that, so long as you can remember that c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Now, whenever you're looking for the hypotenuse, the longest side, okay, the one that's opposite the right angle, this is the formula to use. But if you get faced with a triangle where the unknown, I'll put the same triangle down here, but let's say that we know this side is 5, this time we know this side is 3, and we're trying to find this side, then what we need to do is we need to rearrange the formula, okay? So I'll get to that, but in this case it will look like a squared equals c squared minus b squared. I can show you another way to do those ones though. So let's quickly sort this one out. The hypotenuse has to be the longest side, so we'll put that value in. And then these two are interchangeable, so we can make that one 3, and we can make that one 4. Excuse me. So if x squared equals 3 multiplied by itself, which is 9, and 4 multiplied by itself, which is 16, so x squared is 25. Now we're just balance methoding here, which is always the opposite. So the opposite to squared is to square root. So if I square root both sides, what I end up with is x is the square root of 25. And for maths extended, if this is a nice indice, a nice rational number, then we simplify it down, okay? And if it's not, then we leave it as a surd, okay? We'll forget about that for this video, and we'll just keep them nice Pythagorean triads where everything works out to be a nice number, but usually that doesn't happen. Down here, you can either rearrange the formula like this, and you can substitute in the values. I keep forgetting all my squared, so I can either do it as a squared equals c squared minus b squared. So x squared is going to be 25 minus 9, which makes x squared 16. Okay, remember if I square root both sides, then x will be the square root of 16, which is 4. The way that I used to do this was I just remembered one formula, so I always use c squared equals a squared plus b squared, and I simplified it by doing the balance method. So this is just another way of doing exactly the same question, okay? I would have substituted in the values as per usual, so I would have gone 5 squared equals, maybe make this one a squared plus 3 squared, and then I would have started to simplify, so I would have said 25 equals x squared plus 9, And then balance method, so I would have subtracted 9 from both sides, so I would have ended up with 16 equals x squared. I would have square rooted both sides. I'm just going to switch these around as well because I like my x's on the left, but x would have been the square root of 16, which means x would have been 4. So I would have arrived at the same answer. So you can use either this method or this method, depending on if you want to remember the formula. In a test, you'll be given this formula, but you won't be given this one. So you're either going to need to remember how to rearrange it, or just substitute in like this and use the balance method afterwards. Both are equally efficient.